Hi, Miss Danae here. So now that you have a consciousness of where and what your soul is, I want to talk to you about what a soul wound is. And it is basically exactly what it says, a wound in your soul. Now, where it comes from is what is significant. It happens when you sin or when you're sinned against or when you experience a traumatic event. Take, for instance, Job. In one day, he lost all his wealth. And we're talking about the biblical character Job. In one day, he lost all his wealth and all his children. Definitely traumatic, definitely created a soul wound. There are three reasons why you want to deal with wounds in your soul. The first reason being because the Lord has said that He wants us healed. That He said, He said, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So God's will for you is to be healed and to prosper. So that you have nothing missing and nothing broken, and that's shalom is peace. And then the second reason is because we behave out of that damage. So if you have a wound and it's associated with something in particular, and you keep flipping out about that particular situation, you won't behave like that if the wound is healed. You won't even have to fight whatever that thing is you're fighting, because the desire to flip out on that particular subject will go away once the wound associated with that subject is healed. And thirdly, a soul wound gives the demonic, the enemy, Satan, the legal right to torment you. It gives him access. And so to cut off his access, you heal that wound. There's no place for him to dig his claws into, because the wound, if you get that picture, you take the picture that you formed yesterday of what your soul is and think about a gaping hole or a tear, a machete slice through you, depending on the situation and how deeply it has affected you. And it's that picture is actually something that you can't create on your own. You have to ask God to show you your woundings. Never assume that you know what it comes from. Never assume that you know where, what, and how it's all worked into you. Just understand that they're there. You're behaving out of them, and allow Him to show you who, what, where, when, how, that type of thing, so that they can be healed. But just get that picture of just gaping holes, road rash. I mean, just anything. A shotgun blast through you. I remember that when I first began working the altar in church, and where people go up for prayer and all of that, I would be able to see straight through people because of the woundings. And this is long before I even knew what I was looking at. But I would be standing behind somebody and be able to see through them in the physical to the person standing in front of them, because they had wounds on their soul. I know that sounds creepy, and to me it was. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And no one really had an answer. And it took about a decade for me to get to something that I could really apply to it, something that really made sense in the teaching that I actually got from a wonderful woman named Katie Souza from Expected In Ministries out of, I believe it's Phoenix, Arizona. So check her out at expectedinministries.com. And it's KATIESOUZA. I love her. She is amazing. The revelation that God has given her on the woundings in your soul. And I believe in giving honor where honor is due. That's where I got the teaching from. Get that. Go check her out, because she will give you some even deeper understanding. I'm trying to give you some basic bricks here, so when I start talking about how to apply all of this to learning how to forgive, you understand it. But if you want that deeper understanding, get with Katie Souza out of Expected In Ministries. So for today, I'm going to recap really quickly. A soul wound is just that, a wound in your soul caused by your own sin, by being sinned against, or by experiencing traumatic events. 3 reasons why you do not want them to remain in you is because, 1, God has said, oh, sweetie, you can so be healed. 2, because you behave out of those woundings, and they basically put your progress, your prosperity, they bring them to a screeching halt. And it might be in your finances, it might be in your relationships, but it will hinder you somewhere along the lines. And we want nothing missing, nothing broken, because He gave us peace. His peace, He said, He gives to us. And then thirdly, because you don't want to give the enemy legal access to you. That's a soul wound. I'm Miss Danae. Prosper all day.